Hey guys, my name is Dr. Ali Janjizeri, and I'll be going over how to set up a basic Even28 online store. This video is a part of the Even28 educational tutorials lecture series, which we'll be going over in order to help you determine how to set up an Even28 profile to succeed. So as you know, Even28 offers two pages. One is a practice profile page, a page that's designed to attract more patients to your practice, where the patients can book and learn more about you and your services. The other is your Even28 online store. Now, if you're a beginner, you're probably looking at setting up a basic Even28 online store. So we're going to go ahead and analyze how that's done. There are three types of stores which you can set up. One is a basic store, and then the other is a consult and a complete store. Those are a bit more advanced. So in today's lecture, we're basically going to go over how the basic store looks like and which items you need to feature if your goal is just to attract more new patients to your practice. The consult store is a little bit more advanced. That's when you're listing your basic items plus a few consultations in order to attract more procedure-specific pages. And a complete store is a store that lists almost all of your treatments. All right, so let's go ahead and break down this basic store in today's lecture. Your basic Even28 online store is designed to attract new patients to your practice. Now, most dentists they do all kinds of online advertising, and the whole purpose of advertising is to attract new patients to your practice. You also want to have items listed on your online store that's going to attract patients for specific kind of procedures which you specialize or excel at in your own dental practice. For example, if your practice is focused on cosmetics, full mouth rehab, ortho implants, sleep apnea, whatever it may be, regardless, there's a series of procedures which each dentist prefers to work on. And those are the ones which you want to make sure you have some kind of a treatment listed on your online store to attract the right kind of patients when they're searching Google and other search engines for the right dentist in their neighborhood. Let's go ahead and take a look at a couple items that you need to list in order to attract new patients to your dental practice. The most obvious of these items is going to be a new patient package, which is basically an exam, x-ray, and a regular dental cleaning. You can go ahead and put whatever kind of prices you want on these items. Your regular price is basically the price if your UCR price, or if somebody was to pay separately at the high end for all of these treatments. Your discounted price, which is the price you actually get paid for, which in this case is $59, that's the price you list, and that's the price that patients pay, whether they buy it online or whether they call you over the phone and they ask for that deal. So when a patient purchases a deal like this is the page they land on. And again, this will be your practice's name here and your price here. Then there's a little detail on exactly what this entails. So for instance, we want to make sure deep cleaning is not part of a basic treatment. So there's going to be fine prints down here, which explains exactly how that works. And then you can detail everything that you offer with your exam, x-ray, and cleaning in this area. Now again, the price is completely up to the doctor. You can set an average price based on your neighborhood's price. You can go higher or you can go lower. Now, if you're going to go with a higher price, we can actually go ahead and help you attract those patients by listing over here what treatments you offer. So for example, if you want to, let's say the average price in your neighborhood for a new patient exam is $50, but you have a high-end practice where you want to charge $150. So what you need to do is you need to tell patients exactly what they are getting for the $150, the extra money that their neighboring dentist is offering. Let's say you offer patients a complimentary toothbrush package plus your own whitening products, plus you take pictures of them, you do a periodontal probing, you do a photo series, a computer simulation, whatever it may be. This is your spot in order to convince patients that the extra money that they're paying is worth their time because they're getting more services. Now, if your focus is on volume, then you want to go with a pricing strategy where you price your exam, x-ray, and cleaning less than your competitors in order to attract more patients. Don't forget, there's a value with every patient for coming there, depending on what your advertisement budget is. It costs you a certain amount in order to get a patient into that chair. So you need to be cognizant of that price when you list your prices. To me, it might cost me $150 to $200 to get a patient. So for me to get a patient through this kind of a service where I'm actually not paying anything for the advertisement purposes, just a small commission of 10 to 20%, it's totally worth it for me to price it a little bit lower in order to attract more patients and get more implants and other kind of dental procedures into my practice. But again, this is your practice. You price it the way you want it to be. Another item which we highly recommend you list on your Even28 basic store are teeth whitening procedures. Now you have to realize teeth whitening is a procedure that patients search for when they're looking for cosmetic dentistry. A lot of patients who need treatment like bonding, porcelain veneers, and clear aligners start their search of a dentist near to them by looking for teeth whitening. And you will see why it is so important to list teeth whitening along with prices on your online store to get in front of patients looking for cosmetic dentistry. You can go ahead and list all kinds of teeth whitening procedures, including in-office treatments, where you can specify the kind of teeth whitening gel you use, up to custom whitening trays, and even whitening gel refills, where you can indicate how many refills and at what price it is. Again, this is totally up to you. You customize your store to make it work for you, but I do recommend you get some kind of whitening procedures to get in front of those patients searching for these treatments. Why is it so important to list teeth whitening procedures on your Even28 online store? Go ahead and do a search on Google of teeth whitening near me, and most of the ads that pop up are going to be ads from companies selling teeth whitening treatments online, such as Crest 3D White Strips or these other products which you see listed here, which are paying Google to get sponsored. Now you can run a teeth whitening ad on Google. You'll be paying a few dollars for each click, and at which point patients just get to look at you as a teeth whitening provider and move on to the next product. So those searches are usually not worth paying Google for. What is worthwhile, and I highly recommend you do this, is to list your prices to get in front of these patients. Because again, you're not just competing with the dentist next door when it comes to teeth whitening. You're competing with all these companies selling all these kind of whitening treatments. So if you want to get these patients to buy your product instead of Cresta's 3 White D-Strip or iSmile Home Teeth Whitening Kit, it's valuable to have your prices there. This way patients can go check out your prices, and don't forget, you get a practice profile page where you can actually enlist pictures of real whitening treatments which you've done. Patients can look at that, they can look at your profile, and they can decide to spend a little bit more money to come to you as opposed to buying whitening products online. At the same token, as we mentioned before, a lot of these patients are cosmetically oriented and a lot of them need work other than teeth whitening, such as porcelain veneers, bondings, and clear aligners. So to get these patients in your practice, the value of that is a lot more than the $100 you might make from teeth whitening. Take all that into consideration, and I do again recommend that you consider listing a few teeth whitening products on your online store. Work with your rep to come up with pricing and items that work in your area, and you can go ahead and get those patients into your chair. Custom night guard. This is another item where patients can easily purchase online. A lot of people who need a custom night guard have broken down teeth. They need a bunch of crowns. Most of these patients need 4 to 6 crowns. Some of them need a full mouth of crowns. Now, not everybody's going to obviously pay for those, but you won't know that until you get the patients in your chair. So again, a lot of us, when we sell a custom night guard in our dental practice, we want to charge $400, $500, $600. But if you're going to put your prices online, obviously you need to put a slightly lower price, because again, you're not just competing with the dentist next to you, you're competing with custom night guards where patients can purchase online. And this basically illustrates a perfect example. If somebody searches for a night guard near them, they'll come up with a bunch of custom night guards sold with a lab. A lot of these labs will just send you the basic putty where you take your impression, send it back to them, and they'll send it to you. The difference is with you, they get a custom adjustment and they get a full exam, so you can do that as well. To me, it's worth selling a night guard on the cheap to get the patient in, because I know a lot of those patients need work. And again, keep in mind, a lot of these patients will have a PPO, and if they decide to become one of your patients, you can bill their exam x-rays and cleaning to them. You can make them become your patient. So why not offer them a night guard in order to help them prevent grinding? Make a little bit less money on that, but get the patients and get to take advantage of the patient and their insurance for other work that they really need. Another example, let's say your focus is getting patients for braces and clear aligners. Well, you need to sell stuff that teenagers and younger folks want to buy, and an athletic mouth guard is a prime example of that. A lot of people who do contact sports are younger and they need braces, so why not try to sell that on the cheap in order to sell your braces or your clear aligners? Or a retainer. Believe it or not, a lot of people start their search of straightening teeth by looking for retainers. Many patients don't distinguish the function of a retainer and actual braces and clear aligners. So to them, they think, hey, you know what? I have crooked teeth. The retainer is going to fix my problem. This dentist is offering retainers as a good price. Once they come into you, you can go ahead and try to explain to them how they need braces and clear aligners. And of course, you're given the retainer on the cheap, but in exchange, you're getting a patient who needs braces or clear aligners, and you're converting those into actual high production ortho patients. So if you're looking for ortho patients, you definitely want to sell retainers on your online store, and you want to consider putting something like an athletic mouthguard on your online store. This one is on my dental practice. I like to do a lot of implants, and a lot of these people want a denture. Now, when you sell a flipper denture, this is a temporary denture. The price is much lower than an actual denture, and it's a one visit thing. The fit is okay. Most people only use it for cosmetic purposes, which is why we specified specifically as a flipper denture. And if you go to my fine prints, it tells patients what it is and what it isn't, so they're not confused. But anyways, my whole goal of listing this on my online store is to get dental implant patients in there. And if somebody's missing a front tooth and they want a temporary fix and their dentist is trying to charge them $800-900 for a flipper, they can come and purchase this from me and then spend the $2,000-2,500 to get their implants with me. So yes, I might be losing a little bit of money on a flipper denture, but I'm making a lot of money on the implant aspect. So if you're focused on an implant, it's a great option. If you don't want to put your prices for implants on your online store, you can consider selling flipper dentures to get those patients in there. Again, I hate to say this, but there's actually labs out there that make flipper dentures for patients. You can actually take your impressions, send it to the lab, which is supposedly overseen by a dentist, and they'll ship it out to you for a few $100. So you have to realize, I mean, if you don't do implants, then maybe you don't want to list this. But if you do a lot of implants, then listing flipper dentures is a great way to get patients without teeth in your practice. And this leaves more money for patients to pay for their implants, because you know what? Implants aren't cheap. So to actually get a flipper denture on the cheap helps patients have more room in their budget to get the permanent resolution. Patient gets better service. You get to be their hero. You make a lot more money, and you get referrals. So this is an awesome item to list if you're looking for implants. A sleep apnea device. Again, we all know sleep apnea devices are very popular these days, and a lot of dentists are trying to get on the board with them. You can create sleep apnea profile pages on your Even28 profile. You can put them on your website. But once you actually put a custom sleep apnea device on your online store, a lot of patients who are searching for these devices, instead of ending up on some random page or some, again, or stuff you can buy online, they end up on your website, on your online store, and they contact you. And again, keep in mind, a lot of times these patients have a PPO plan which covers their sleep apnea device, and the average payout on that is $3,000 to $5,000. So if you want to get some of these, if you're good with sleep apnea treatment and you want to get these patients in there, go ahead and list your prices there. You can list your regular price really high, and then when patients come in, you can have an upgraded option, which you can send to the insurance, and you can try to charge more money, and you can try to get this billed to the insurance. Again, you need to be very careful with how you list your items, what your upgraded items are, and these have to be something that you can work with your rep. But to list these online gets you in front of patients searching for these items, so they come to you as opposed to go to somebody else. And it lets everybody know that I'm serious about sleep apnea devices. You want to sell more of those? Go ahead and get a few good reviews on your practice profile page or your online store. Link those to your online store, and next thing you know, you're getting tons of patients for sleep apnea devices. So again, these custom devices help get the right kind of treatments into your chair. This would be an example of what a basic Even28 online store would look like. You're going to have your exam, x-ray, and cleaning. You're going to have some teeth whitening products. And again, depending on what you want to specialize on, you're going to have a few custom dental devices. You can list all the custom dental devices that there are. There's like 6 to 10 of them that you can list. Or you can go with the ones that kind of fit whatever your practice focuses and specializes on. When you create a basic Even28 online store, you're not actually putting the prices of your more complex treatments on your store. So there's no mention of what a crown costs or a filling costs or a dental implant costs or braces costs. On the other hand, there's a mention of a lot of items that lead to these stores, and these are items that patients search Google for. So create a basic online store if you're just beginning with Even28 and you're a little bit hesitant with putting your full-on prices online. Go ahead and create it, let it sit there, let it get some SEO, and let Google pick it up. And then again, don't overthink your prices. You can always adjust your prices. You want more patients, you can decrease your prices. If you already have plenty of patients, you can increase your prices. You can add or remove items. All you got to do is send an email to admin@Even28, and they'll make the modifications for you. But just go ahead and set up your store and kind of let it pick up steam. And when patients search stuff like a dental cleaning next to me, or whitening trays next to me, or affordable custom night guard next to me, let them end up on your online store. Because guess what? Your practice website doesn't have a lot of information on cost and price. Whereas when patients search Google, they search for cost and price. So when you create your online store, you're getting a whole bunch of traffic to your profile, which isn't going to your practice profile page. And again, we aren't just competing with our neighboring dentists anymore. We're competing with a lot of online teledentistry, as they call it. So to have an online store in this day and age is a must. And in addition to that, when you sell something online, there's a 75% chance that patient shows up to your practice. So when you started creating an online store, patients end up coming to you as opposed to purchasing stuff online. And when somebody makes a purchase, you know they're going to show up. I mean, nobody's going to forget that they just spent $199 buying retainers from you, whereas they're going to forget your ads. So create your basic online store, work at customizing and putting items and changing the prices, and come up with something that's optimized for your practice and let it generate patients for you. It's really that simple. It's all free. All you got to do is pay a small commission on each item sold, and they pretty much take care of everything else on your behalf. All right, guys, that pretty much concludes today's tutorial on the Even28 online store for a basic store. If you have any other questions, you can feel free to email me personally. My email address is drjay, which is Dr. J, at even28.com. If you're ready to go ahead and get your profile set up and create your online store, go ahead and shoot them an email, and they'll helpful guys there. They'll help you get your profile started, and then you can set up your prices. Start working on which items you want to list and what prices you're comfortable with in the interim until they've generated your profile for you. And yeah, I mean, we're going to be facing with a lot of challenges after what's going to happen with this pandemic. So let's go ahead and prepare for that by offering patients not just a great dentistry, but a great way for them to purchase dentistry. And that is exactly what Even28 allows you to do. Thanks again for listening to our lecture, and the best of luck to you.